feel good about herself. Okay? Now, I want to talk about a compliment. There are two ways to compliment a person. There's a way to compliment somebody when you need something or want something, and there's a way to compliment someone when you don't need or want anything. Just a genuine compliment. People have a very good way of knowing when you want something or need something. Okay? That's what makes the difference between a good salesman and a bad salesman. A bad salesman is always trying to sell something. A good salesman, he just wants to be your friend. If you want to buy his product at the end, cool. Okay? That is, excuse me, that is basically how he makes you feel. Okay, so if I make a girl feel good about herself, I'm going to get a much more genuine response when I ask her a question immediately afterward. Okay, so what I like to do is I compliment, and then I ask a question. So for example, here, let's see. Okay, so if I want to qualify a girl, right here, I say, you seem like a really fun girl. What puts a smile on your face? If I just said, hey, I'm Eric, what puts a smile on your face? She's going to be like, who the heck are you? You leaving. That's what puts a smile on my face. You know? But if I say, you know, I walk up to her with good body language, and I introduce myself or open, whatever, and then I give her negative body language, and I'm bantering and being playful. You know, now she's chasing me a little bit, and I say, hey, you know what? You seem like a really fun girl. What puts a smile on your face? I'm going to get a much, much more genuine response out of her. Don't you guys think? Okay.
One more thing that occurred to us. Do not ever give compliments on looks, period.
I'm gonna disagree with that.
Initially, at least in interaction, I believe so.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. If you're going direct.
It also depends on what she looks like, to be realistic. If she's a 9, or if she's like beautiful, she's heard every possible line before.
It depends. It's what I'm talking about. It's a genuine, sincere compliment. If you're going up and you're complimenting her looks because you want something or you need something, she's gonna read that in a second. She's gonna know. She's not gonna know that she knows, but she's gonna know. Do you know what I mean? It's subconscious. Okay? She knows right away. You want her for her looks. That's it. But if I walk up to a girl and I say, you are adorable, I just had to come say hi. What? Why? What's wrong with that? What is wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. I thought she was adorable and I wanted to come say hi to her and I introduced myself. That's it. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. She's going to like that. Girls love being flattered. They really do. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the next thing, always be escalating. Guys, I cannot tell you how many times I have fallen prey to this mistake. Giving up. Man, it is. It's giving up. And I'm sure you know it when you're doing it. I'm sure you know it when you're doing it, but you're finding 1,000 excuses as to why it's not giving up. But it is. Not escalating is giving up. I don't care what anybody says. It is. Always be pushing that limit. Okay? It's the man's job to escalate. It's the girl's job to say no when it's time to say no. That's it. Plain and simple. If you're not pushing the limits, that's the end of the interaction. It's going stale. Always be escalating. Rejection is temporary. If she says no, it could mean no. You're going to have to gauge that on how she says it. If she's like, no, that's no. Okay, guys? That is no. Okay? But if she's like, no, that's not now. That means not now. That means take a step back, escalate some compliance more, and do it again. Do the same exact thing again. You do it a second time, after a little bit of compliance, the girl's going to be much more likely to comply. The same exact thing. Can't tell you how many times I've done it now. It works. Tried and true. So, rejection is temporary. Always be escalating. Please take those 2 points home. They're very important. On to Kino escalation. Touch her. You guys have got to touch her. Somebody I know very well has a girlfriend, and he's very experienced with this stuff, okay? He goes out in field, and he basically goes out, he's a coach, okay, guys? He goes out and he coaches men on this stuff, seduction arts, social arts, okay? And he goes out into clubs, and he has to interact with people, but he purposely does not escalate Kino because that's what produces sexual attraction. So if he consciously does not Kino escalate to reduce the sexual tension between him and other girls, don't you think it's kind of tough to get that sexual attention without touching girls. It makes sense when you think about it that way, doesn't it? Kino escalation, guys, it's absolutely quintessential to sexual attraction. It is. No question about it. Start with brief pats on the shoulder. I like to do this, okay? This is the best way to do it, really. Start with brief pats on the shoulder and upper arm. Okay, that's when you open. Could you come here for a sec? Again, thank you. Okay, so at this point, okay, I've just opened her now. I'm showing her negative body language. She's not showing me very much positive body language, okay? So she's here, you know, and I'm flirting with her, bantering, okay? And I can, like, you know, hey, get out of here, push her like that, stuff like that, and be like, no, I'm just kidding, okay, come here, you know? Like, you're just real quick, okay? That's it, just real quick, all right? And I'm just, you know, little touches on the arm, on the shoulder, very, very small, very short, okay? Brief. Outside of knuckles, that's a good one, too, all right? Then from there, I can escalate. So now that I've hooked her, now that she's starting to show me more positive body language, I can begin to now touch her here, or if I'm like next to her here, I can touch her down here, you know, now a little bit. Very brief, okay? Center back, briefly still, okay? Now as I qualify her, okay, I say, you know, you seem like a really fun girl. What puts a smile on your face? What puts a smile on your face?
Buy me a drink.
Get out of here. Gold digger. Gold digger right here.
Surfing.
Okay, surfing puts a smile on your face. That's awesome. Surfing. Let me tell you what I don't know anything about surfing, but I do know a lot about skiing because that's something I've done. Okay, do you guys realize what's going on now? I'm basically going into rapport at this point. I'm going to tell her how I feel about skiing. Okay? Skiing is not surfing. That doesn't matter. It's how I feel about skiing. She's naturally going to relate that to how she feels about surfing. That's an emotional connection right there. Okay? Once I do that, once I qualify her, I can now put my hand down here on her back. Okay? And I can leave it there for a little bit longer, 2 to 3 seconds maybe, something like that. Still not too long. I mean, 2 to 3 seconds is a pretty long time to touch a person, okay? That's prolonged touching right there. And if she's comfortable with that, she's going to be comfortable with a lot more. Okay, guys? So it's important that you escalate properly. Thank you. Now, at this point where you're touching her lower back, okay, you guys are very comfortable with each other on sort of an emotional level, hopefully getting to that point. This is okay. At this point, you should be facing her straight on. Okay, you can have your arm right behind her like this, touching her, and you can be facing her straight on. This is the point where I isolate. Okay, I say, you know, I can't even hear you in this part of the club. Let's take a stroll right over there. There looks like some comfy couches. Let's go have a chat. Okay, something like that. Very simple, very quick. Get her out of there. Isolate. All right, guys. Now on to the... All right, let's hear it. Any questions?
All right, question about isolation.
Gotcha.
What do you do when she's with a group of girls and
I was gonna ask the same thing, Kyle.
you want to isolate her? Like, what do you say to the friends? Because a lot of times I've been noticing I'm having a hard time isolating.
Yeah. It's simple. I mean, at this point, hopefully, if you've opened a group,
Yeah.
you got to entertain the group. That's the rule.
Yeah.
Okay? You're not... If you go into a group of people and you focus on one girl, most of the time, they'll blow you out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll run into a set, though, where you can game that one girl, and the other members of the group will sort of give you your space. Now, you've sort of mini isolated her there, but they're not going to let you take her away because they don't know you.
Yeah.
You haven't taken the time to get to know them. So, ultimately, it's your interaction up to that point that decides whether or not they're going to be cool with it. Obviously, there's exceptions to this rule, but for the most part, you got to entertain the group. Okay, you have to engage everybody. And this is done by, you know, like I said, playful banter, flirting with everybody, touching everyone. I like to put my hands on everybody, okay? I do that. That's me. I've become a very, very touchy person, and it really works to my benefit. So, at that point, what you can do is once it's time to isolate, and she's ready, you know she's ready, you can just look to the other guys and be like, I'm stealing this one for a second. Walk away. That's it. That's it, man. All you have to do is be like, we're going to go have a chat right over there. And point. You can point right to where you're going to be. So they're like, oh, yeah, okay, that's okay. They're right over there.